The recent changes to the mutator system for New World expeditions has been a hot topic lately, and there are two camps on this. There are those who are screaming about how difficult it is and how it should be nerfed, and there are those that are talented and honorable and proud who think that it should stay this way. Can you tell what camp I'm in? What's up, guys? Steven with Level Up MMO here to walk you guys through my thoughts on these mutator changes and why I think this is a really good thing for the game. Now, before we begin, if you're one of the people that's going to be like, oh, it's still not too hard, I don't know what everybody's talking about, shut up. Just shut up. All right, back to the video. So first, let's talk about what the changes are for those of you who are not up to date and just to kind of set the table for the later discussion. Basically, you no longer have to pick chests up throughout your runs or have to run back, and then they will all be at the end, so this will save you a little bit of time. Instead, however, you will have to spend that time doing some gatherables. Each dungeon has a set number of them. I think it's 10 across the board. I know the few that I have run since this update dropped have been 10, so that is what I think they might be, but if they're not, you have to get a certain number of gatherables. That's the whole point. That's been added in addition to, of course, you need to kill a certain number of regular mobs, a certain number of named mobs, and beat the time quota without getting full team wipes, and of course avoid deaths, which will bring down your score, which is what is going to get multiplied if you hit the aforementioned things. And they changed up the scoring requirements, so in order to get gold, you now have to get 50,000 points, which basically means you need a just about perfect run. Now, people are all like, oh, we have to get the gatherables, it messes it up. You can actually get 50,000 without them, so long as you meet all of the other quotas and you don't have any extra deaths. The gatherables are there to really just allow you to make up for some of your deaths, because they're going to give you like 100 points per one, which gets multiplied at the end. So if you pick up 10 of them, you're going to get extra points, because that's 1,000 times 5. That's 5,000 more. If you go deathless, you may not need those points, so just keep that in mind. Now, with all that out of the way, why do I think this is a good thing? That's because it was too easy before, and anybody who denies that is either just really, really bad, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. Maybe you don't put in the time, maybe you want it to be a smoother, easier experience that you get to enjoy, and that's kind of okay in my opinion. However, it was too easy. Anybody could get in there if they at least had some ward gear. You didn't really need the trophies, you didn't need the honing stones, you didn't need all of these things they have in the game that don't have much purpose. You could complete M10s, especially on easy weeks, with almost none of the end game items. With this new system, it gives value to some of these items. You go in there without coatings for your weapons or a honing stone or maybe even ward potions, and you're going to be in for a rough time because it will slow you down and you won't get the timer, or you'll get eliminated, or whatever it might be. But the point is that now these things are required. There is a separation between the M1s and the M10s, which there was before, but nowhere near as much as it probably should have been. The fact that if you could basically do like an M5, you could do all the way up to like an M8 or an M9 almost no problem. There was a little bit more separation maybe at the 9 and 10 level, but even then it wasn't enough. And now we are seeing that people are realizing, hey, maybe I'm not as good as I thought. Maybe I should go get some of those other items and some of the potions and food buffs and things like that to help me achieve this, which is how it should be. It should require a little bit of effort. It should separate people and be like, wow, those guys are really talented and really good and they're prepared, from the people who just show up and want to run it. You can still run the dungeons, or the expeditions rather. It's just that maybe you can't go as high in your current state. Maybe you can only do regulars. Maybe you have to stop at M3s before you have to improve yourself. That should give you something else to strive for and work toward, and that is a good thing to have in a game. The idea that you should be able to do everything with just having the absolute minimum is just ludicrous to me. This is exciting, and that is why I think it's a good thing. I think they should be more difficult. When the Ennead was tough, I used 25 runs. Mind you, these are all pugs, so if not like with a set group, which probably would have made it easier, but it took me 25 runs to get my M10, or up to M10. I never even golded my actual codex. I golded somebody else's codex at an M10 to get me from M9 to M10. So the point being is, it was difficult, and that made it so much more exciting. Every run was like, well, I have to hone in on this. I have to focus. I have to make sure I'm bringing all the right stuff, that I'm getting out of dodge at the right time. It's no longer just stand in stuff, face tank, and everything is going to be okay. It actually does require more thought, more effort, changing your pathing, figuring out which pools you need to make a little bit larger. And how do you beat that? You take a ward potion. You do something different to take bigger pools to speed up the run. It now requires actual thought, actual planning, actual use of the items they put in the game for this purpose. So if you find yourself on the other side thinking it's too hard, You just need to improve. If you don't want to, then stick to the levels you can do, but don't hinder those of us who are at the end able to do the 8s, 9s, and 10s currently and the new system, but still have it be a little bit more difficult, because that makes it more exciting for us. It doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like something that is exciting to do and fun. Now, what I would like to see because of the increase in difficulty is maybe slightly better rewards. I would like to see things that are M10 only that are better, that are things that when that's the reason you're still running the M10s, right? Is because you can get that specific item or that specific set that is valuable from running the M10s. Overall though, I think it's awesome. I've said that a lot throughout this video because it is exciting. I am amped to run them and to improve and to figure out where and when people can make these changes and make these improvements to be able to run them, because before you really didn't have to do a lot. You could show up and it just happened, you know, like pugs were pretty easy to run these things with, and I like that now it's going to require a little bit more. And I want to emphasize that doesn't mean that you are being locked from content. It means that you have to improve to do that content, and you can still do it all the way up to the level that you can. They should not have to lower the level to the weakest person, but I agree that it doesn't mean that all dungeons should just at base be insanely difficult. So that's why you have things like regulars and then an M1 all the way through an M10, and hopefully eventually we'll get all the way through an M15 or an M20. Maybe it'll become unlimited, who knows. But that is my rant on this topic. This is how I feel. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and if you don't have any thoughts to share, say hi, leave your favorite emoji, whatever you want to do. It helps with the algorithm, so please go ahead and do that. And of course, if you enjoy New World content or MMO content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you can always chat with me live at twitch.tv/heartbreaker_TV. Would love to have you over there, and as always, good luck in your adventures.